Okay, I'm a little late with this review, but here we go anyway. I Frankenstein. I Frankenstein is the action movie in which Frankenstein's monster, in this film known as Adam, shows up as an action hero, anti hero. He's a little bit typical of an anti hero. He hates the world, life sucks, everyone is against him, and he just wants to be left alone. But he's also a supernatural badass who taught himself martial arts while living alone in the Arctic. How that works, I'm not sure, but he did it in a montage, so it has to be real. Your villain in this film is played by Bill Nighy. He plays a sort of anonymous, well, not really anonymous, he has a name, Demon Prince. You're not going to remember the Demon Prince's name, it's just a name that they threw out there. And Bill Nighy is a much better actor than this. I'll get to the acting in a minute because every actor has the same review, so there's no need to do it more than once. Um, and the sort of mentor in this film is, I believe it's the woman that plays the matriarch of the Stark clan on Game of Thrones. She plays the Gargoyle Queen. Yes, the Gargoyle Queen. This movie has a Gargoyle Queen in it. And it's not a cartoon, which when you're live action and you've got a Gargoyle Queen, something somewhere has gone terribly, terribly wrong. So, um, and his allies are there are a few of the gargoyles, but Yvonne Strahovski from Chuck, she's the scientist who's following in the footsteps of Frankenstein, although I don't know why anybody would ever want to do that, and trying to reanimate the dead. And she's there mainly because she's hot and there has to be a love interest and there has to be a scientist. So let's make the hot love interest the scientist, I guess. I don't know. Okay, so let's get to the well. You also have the enemies. The enemies, a whole bunch of faceless demons and the other gargoyles. Okay, what's going on in this movie is that gargoyles are actually angels and they are sent here to fight demons and keep them from harming humanity. That's essentially the gist of the entire movie. And the gargoyles basically want to recruit Frankenstein's monster to their side. So, if you understand that much, that's all you need to know about the plot because the rest of it is incoherent anyway. Um, the upside of this movie is literally just that Yvonne Strahovski is hot, and that's it. That's the best part of the movie is that she's attractive. The downside of the movie. Let's start with the acting. Every single actor in this movie is okay, given that this is essentially an overhyped grade B movie. This is something that should have come out like direct to video, which with much lower profile actors in it, because it's I don't know how they got these people to do this movie unless they were all desperate for work, and I don't think any of them were. Everyone had to have thought this movie was going to be so much better than it was. And okay, there's way too much exposition. Way too much exposition. Entire plot points are linked only by exposition, by voiceovers. There are literally scenes that only make sense and they don't even make that much sense, but they're only linked by the voiceover. Without the voiceover, if you watch this movie with the sound off or not paying attention to the voiceover, it is impossible to follow. And the other thing is that as much action as there is in this movie, and there's quite a bit of action, most of it's really stupid. Um, the gargoyles are the worst tacticians in the world. Quite literally, the big set piece action sequence in the film, they're basically trying to guard someone. And the way they try to guard him is they leave five people with him, and then every other gargoyle, and I mean there's like hundreds of them, go out and attack the enemy out in the streets. And I don't mean they don't even stay in front of the building they're in. They fly around the neighborhood. They leave the guy undefended. Then, of the five people who stayed behind, the leader, he goes out and he starts flying around the neighborhood. Then the other two, they go out and they start flying around the neighborhood, leaving the person that literally the whole point of this fight is to protect this guy. They leave him with two people protecting him, just two. Everybody else is like 3 blocks away fighting. This is stupid. This is as intelligent as the movie gets. You have to understand that. So the other downside is the special effects, the makeup effects. The demons literally looked like, okay, you remember Buffy the Vampire Slayer? You remember Angel, the TV show spin-off Angel? Okay, you remember Lorne, the green Las Vegas singing demon? Yeah, they look like him. Basically, they look like him, except they're brown. That's it. Lorne from Angel. That's as scary as this gets. Um, so while I didn't have a bad time watching this movie just because I wasn't expecting much, I can't recommend it even as something to sit there and laugh at. This movie isn't even good enough to be bad. This is a 1.5. It's just above garbage. 1.5. Not a good movie.